We are live now. Good evening, everyone. This is Anish Gupta, and I'm here on behalf of the National Law Training Institute. Today, we have among us two big stalwarts of the CLAT industry, AIR1 CLAT 2022, Rishabh Shivani, and All India Rank 1 CLAT 23, Abhinav Somani. I know their surnames rhyme a lot, and I get confused between Shivani and Somani. Shivani, it does. Yeah, so moving on,
Yes.
like even though you do not need any introduction, it would be great if you could just tell people about yourself and what you are up to nowadays. Rishabh, you want to go first?
Yeah. So, hello everyone. I'm Rishabh, and I am currently in my first year in NLS, and we have our internship breaks going on. So currently we're interning and like having fun during the breaks. So yeah.
Okay. So, hi everyone, I'm Abhinav, as you can read on the screen. So, I'm in class 12th currently, and right now I'm just preparing for my boards. And yeah, that's about all. After boards are done in April, then I'll get move on to other things. But as of now, I'm just preparing for my boards.
Right. So guys, the main motive of this session is to firstly to bring Rishabh and Abhinav on the same platform so that they can like tell you about what CLAT is and how to prepare for CLAT, given that you have around 10, 12 months. And also if you have any questions, that we will be addressing all those questions at the end of at the later part of the session. So we will begin the session by like Abhinav has a few questions to ask Shivani. So if Abhinav, if you want to clear all your doubts regarding NLS, this sounds scripted, but this is not. So Abhinav, if you want to go and go
Yeah,
ahead and
totally not.
All right. So, firstly, how is life at NLS? Like throughout your entire preparation, it's just you hear NLS, NLS, NLS all the time. But I want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Like, how really is life at NLS from both of you?
Like the amount of expectations people build during CLAT preparation, uh, you will be disappointed a bit, like because of those expectations. Like, not to say that unless it's a bad institution or a bad place, it's a very good place, you have a lot of fun, but it's very different from what we generally feel about the college. So like it's very, you obviously hear that it's academically hectic, but you can feel it only when you are inside the institution and you meet a lot of smart people as well. And it's a fun place also, you can have a lot of fun, but yeah, it's like it's hectic but fun, like the typical law school thing that goes on. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I have similar views regarding how life at NLS is. Yeah, like if you are able to manage things, you will be pretty much sorted in NLS. If you even if you have your foot in different places, that would also be like not a big task to handle in law school. If you are able to manage time and devote equal time to everything, yeah, there are a lot of opportunities that you get just by the virtue of that NLS brand. Like even if you are in a good college, if you are in a good college that is a non NLU and you have like better traits than us, like just by the virtue of that NLS tag, we'll be able to land that internship and that person will not get. So this might be a disadvantage for others, but yeah, this is one of the best things about NLS, that the brand value it carries along with it, it is very respected in the legal industry. Yeah, so uh, life at NLS is good. It is all obviously very quite hectic, but yeah, it's pretty manageable. It's hectic but manageable, so it's not that you'll like be under the water every time. It should be pretty much sorted when you come here. And smart people, like only smart people make it to NLS, so it's fine. Only if you see a person who is smarter than you are also smart, so that is something that you should know every time when you take something up. So this should be fine only. Yeah.
And I mean, it
So
totally,
yeah,
uh,
good,
like I
sorry,
was just
good.
one thing that it's just totally upon the person. Like you can make it as hectic as you want. You can choose to just do
Yeah,
academics. You can choose to do academics, competitions, committees, and whatnot. There are a lot of things to do. So it also depends on what you want to do. So you can make it as hectic as you want. It can get very hectic for you. It can also be very chill for you. It depends a lot on what you prioritize and what you want to do eventually. So that's another thing that's not generally like hectic for everyone in general. It's just how what activities you are taking part, like partaking in. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
all right. So next is I have heard some very unflattering things about the food served in the mess. So I would like to know it directly from you. Just how is the food? Like very honestly.
So in my 6 months at NLS, I've had mess food about 5 times. So that that tells you how good it is. But like I would say the food, like on some days it's good, on some days not. But it sometimes gets like the menu is set right, so they don't change it as well. In the first
Yeah,
semester they did. In the second one, like uh, from what November, yeah, November to
yeah.
January that trimester, they did not change the menu that much. So some food items like paneer and all, that's good, but some like it's not. And it's a, like some food is very unhygienic also. Like there are insects and worms and even iron nuts that you can
Oh,
find in the
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah, so
okay.
insects, hair, metallic items, everything under the sun you can find in our
Yeah,
plates, everything. Yeah, so like see, the breakfast is good because it's primarily South Indian, so they are good at South Indian stuff, dosa, idli, vada, uttapam, and all. The lunch is pathetic, like it's very bad. Sometimes it's just unbearable. The dinner is somewhat good. It's like bearable, eatable, but the menu is very static. So last 3 months we had the same menu repeated over 3 months. Like for 1 week, the menu in the first week would be in the third week, then fifth week, the seventh week, and ninth week. So the menu is the same only, and the gravy is also same. So if I'm putting into layman's terms, so it's fine only. Like Rishabh was working with NLTI, so all his NLTI menu was going into um, Zomato, Swiggy, and stuff.
ordering from Swiggy. Yeah.
Yeah, but like people do generally eat in the mess only. It's manageable. But it's not tasty. That's the, yeah.
All right. And lastly, like, how are the facilities, the amenities, the library, the sports stuff, the gym? How are all
Library to
these things?
library.
So
No
library is
library.
under construction. So you have like no sort of the endless library that we generally see in like photos when we just search endless. You can't access that thing now. I mean, technically you can, but not for libraries. Like
For all the wrong things, we can access the
for all the
library.
wrong things, not
Yeah,
for like reading books. But yeah,
yeah,
so the library is under construction. Sports facilities only, there's only cricket and football that's actually good. Even I would say like just football. Even cricket practice happens like a few times only. So only cricket and football, I think. Volleyball, they play volleyball also. And TT
yeah.
was good in the first semester, but they ruined it with the with this construction.
Construction.
So uh, and yeah, so the sports facilities are really like they're not that good. But you do have fun stuff about sport, like you have GCL, the Gully Cricket League, and all that. So
Yeah,
it's very fun. Then other amenities, I think hostel rooms and all are fine, but you don't get water after 1 a.m. That's all.
yeah. So I mean, the amenities are good only if not going into sports stuff alone. I think it's fine only. The hostels are, at least my hostel is good. I can't. Rishabh's also is good only. You stay in
Yeah,
LC, no?
Himalaya.
Himalaya. Like all other hostels
Best
except
hostel.
Himalayas are good. Like only Himalaya is one of the hostels people do not prefer to live in. But if for all the wrong reasons, people do prefer to live in Himalaya. But yeah, the rest three hostels are triple sharing, and the hostel I live in is twin sharing. So we get an option like in the first year only if you want to choose your roommates. I don't think you got the option, but we
No,
got
no.
it during our time. You can choose. I could choose my roommate in the first year itself, but they didn't. They didn't get an option. Yeah. So
And because
the
you are 240 people, we don't know how.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
I
the
think most will
classes
be
are
accommodated in LC only, no?
yeah. See, the classes are pretty good now. The new NAB, the new academic block that they built recently, it's very good. It's like state of the art facilities. Uh, the classes are very good. The professors are fine only. Like some of them are very good, some of them are quite bad, but mostly they are fine only. Yeah, so it's average. The amenities are average. Some of them are very good. Like recently we got a new outlet, a new canteen type outlet that is good. Like when I entered college there was really nothing that could be called a canteen, but now there are a lot of things. There's a vending machine now. There are 2 3 outlets like that are open till 11 12 at night. So that is fine, that is good now, and it's improving with each trimester. So by the time you come, you'll be able to see a lot more facilities than we experience right now. Yeah.
That's all. Thank
Yeah, so NLS life is done. NLS life is good, but it's not as good as coaching industries portray it to be, but it's like somewhat it somewhat resembles that only. So now we come back to CLAT. Yeah, so Rishabh and Abhinav are the two best people who could guide you regarding CLAT. So firstly, we will begin with the most basic question, that is the reading speed. So CLAT is very reading intensive paper. You need to read throughout 2 hours, and you need to solve 150 questions in those 120 minutes. So how do we improve our reading speed? And person who has recently come into class 12th, passing class 11th, and he has no idea what CLAT is, and but wants to prepare for CLAT, how should he begin his CLAT preparation? And the most basic would be to develop their reading habits and reading skills. So, Abhinav, would you like to take this question first?
Sure. So for me, I had an advantage. I've been a reader since childhood, so I already had a very well-developed reading speed. But for all of my friends who did not have that great of a reading speed, what they all did was they read the newspaper, and I think the newspaper is basically a magic bullet that solves many problems in your CLAT preparation. So I think this will be an answer to a lot of things. Just read the newspaper. It really
Yeah.
increases your reading speed. And apart from that, if you get the time in your preparation, you can always read something that interests you. It can be a magazine, it can be a novel, fiction, non-fiction, whatever interests you. Just pick it up and read it. Like the more you read, the quicker you get. Don't think too much about what you're reading. Just if you're getting started, just pick up whatever you find interesting and get reading. And once you have developed the reading habit, then you can move on to more difficult stuff. So yeah, newspaper and other things if you get the time for it.
Yeah. Rishabh, what do you have to say about this?
I mean, I haven't read any of the classics or any of those books. I used to read Diary of a Wimpy Kid in class 11, so it's not like very very classic
Nah,
literature that
but
I read.
that's still an amazing series.
So I used to read newspapers and all. I used to read obviously like non-fiction books, like legal books and all. But
Yeah.
even that, like that may have helped in the legal reading speed of it. But I didn't try actively for that. That okay, like just don't read for improving your reading speed. Read
Yeah.
just because for the sake of it, or just like to gain knowledge about something. That's all. When you are when you get into that habit of reading, then your reading speed will automatically improve. You can't like specifically try to read something just so you can read it faster. You read it to understand it, to gain knowledge about it. That's the whole thing about reading speed. And then obviously go on to read newspapers. So when you're reading newspapers and you're reading an article, so you're gaining knowledge about that article, and then you're reading it as fast as you can as well. You can obviously you can time yourself and all. So if it's like a big editorial, you can try maybe, I don't know, 7 minutes, no, not 7, like 5 minutes to read the whole thing. That's all. Just reading it 5 6 minutes, so you can time yourself that way. That can help you in your reading speed. That's one way.
Yeah. So
Also,
coming
yeah,
to
you can underline or use a pointer while reading. I think underlining definitely increases your speed while reading, and it also helps you focus directly on the text.
Right. Coming to the next question, most of the aspirants have this doubt that when they're reading newspaper, which portion should they focus upon, and which section should they entirely exclude? Like, should they read the sports section, or should they just focus on the editorials? What was your strategy while you were reading newspapers? Both. Anyone could take this up.
Okay, I'll start. So, for me, anything apart from the regional news section. So, if you see the Hindu, there is, I think, South and West and something like that. So, based on where you live, so any sort of regional news, that's one. Any sort of like magazine stuff that comes there, that's two. Uh, and like sports news and business news. These were the four things that I did not focus on. Business news, just maybe glance through it and see one or two articles which can maybe help. Otherwise, it's just too technical and not for CLAT aspirants basically. That thing. And Garfield obviously must read. So yeah, But basically anything except for your sports and regional news and your business news you should read. That-
Abhinav, what do you have to say?
Okay, so yeah, first was this. I obviously avoided all the regional news, the city news, and that thing. And another thing is the more mocks you give and the more you read the newspaper, you'll get an intuition, a sense in your stomach. Ki, okay, this news is important, this news is not important. So I used to read two newspapers. First was the Hindu. The Hindu I read for whatever news was in it. I read it entirely through, like whatever the important news was. And the second was the Indian Express. So in the Indian Express, I just read three pages of it: the explained section, the editorials page, and the ideas page. I think it's called the ideas page or something like that. So in the Indian Express, I used to read just these three pages, and the Hindu, I read through all of it. So as you read more newspapers and as you give more mocks, you'll realize ki, okay, this sort of news is important. It can be asked. So I think the trick to understanding is to just keep giving more and more mocks and to keep reading the newspaper. In a short time, you develop a very accurate sense of what is really important from a CLAT perspective.
Right. Now that you have referred to mocks, we'll directly jump to that question. So we all know mocks are an indispensable part of the CLAT preparation journey, but the aspirants who are just starting out with their CLAT preparation are doubtful as to when they should start giving mocks. Is it like should they start after they have done a bit of their syllabus and they know how to give a mock and when they have a good reading speed, or should they start giving them the mocks immediately, like when they're starting in, let's say, March, after their class 11 exams? So what do you suggest, Rishabh and Abhinav? When should one start giving mocks? Is there any like set of syllabus that one should complete before giving their first mock, or is it very dynamic?
I think like there's no arbitrary thing that okay you must prepare for 1 2 months before actually giving a mock. At the same time, it's not like okay you've just seen what is CLAT, you've just joined the coaching institute. Okay, let me give mocks. That's also not how it works. So you need to have a basic understanding of of a section, and when you're actually having like your coaching classes, or if you're not enrolled in a coaching institution, when you're reading a bit, like just know about the paper before going on and attempting it as a mock, right? You need to know okay there are generally 35 to 40 questions in legal reasoning. What type of questions are they that are generally asked? So once you know those sort of things, once you know that okay in quantitative techniques they'll ask you three sets, and on based on that you'll have to answer how are you supposed to solve them, what may be the time for that. So if you know, if you have a basic knowledge about these things, then you can go on to attempt a mock. It's not necessary that you need to solve at least 1,000 questions before actually starting attempting mocks. Mocks can be your biggest learning, like apart from the like even better than the coaching material. But I feel that you should have this sort of an understanding before going for a mock. So generally I think like it's not a fixed thing, but like 2 weeks in 2 3 weeks into your CLAT preparation, I think then you should start with attempting your mocks.
Abhinav?
Okay, so firstly, I agree with Rishabh that mocks are a very, very big learning experience. Like, I think are what help you crack CLAT. So, especially for me, my preparation was very, very mock intensive. I used to give a good number of mocks and analyze them, and that was my main method of preparation. As for giving mocks, I started in January 2022, and CLAT was in December. So I think if you are giving CLAT 24, then you can definitely start with the mocks. Start easy with one mock a week, and then once you're comfortable with it, once you're getting time to analyze it and do other things with it, then you can bump up the frequency. That's on you. And if you're preparing for CLAT 25, then it's really up to you. As Rishabh said, you should first focus on the concepts, actually get to know what is in the paper. If you're preparing for CLAT 25, then you really have plenty of time to begin giving mocks, so you need not worry about that right now. But all the CLAT 24 aspirants should definitely start with their mocks now.
Right. So the next question is specifically designed for people who are not enrolled in any coaching. So coachings usually give you stuff like RSMs give you reading comprehensions and all. But if you're not in any coaching, you do not really have a lot of stuff at hand except the GMAT things. the GMAT Manhattan, book trail, and all whatever GMAT provides. So did you also go through GMAT, or did you confine yourself to the coaching material? And if you do not have that coaching material, where should you develop your reading speed and reading skills and comprehension abilities? Like, how, where do you practice RCs and other things from? Abhinav.
Right. So no, I did not use these other materials like GMAT, LSAT, etc. I just confined myself to the coaching material. If you do not have this coaching material, firstly, you can just begin with the newspaper to develop your reading speed, your GK, all that. And also, I would highly recommend buying a mock series at least. Getting the material really isn't necessary. Just buy a mock series, any good mock series, and just begin giving mocks. Even giving a mock is a preparation, is a good preparation for CLAT. So if you can't afford an entire set of practice books and all that that coaching sell at such high prices, then just get a decent mock series and stick with it. Regularly give mocks, analyze mocks, and you'll be able to get
Right. Just to add to that point, if you are giving mocks, like there are on most equations, there are sources given just beneath the just below the passage, so you can refer to those sources also, and you can read more using the links. If you like, let's say if we have put a passage from the Guardian, you know that the Guardian is a good source which you can rely upon, so you can read more articles on the Guardian, the Print, the Wire, Indian Express, whatever article that we put. So that mocks are really a good source if you are not enrolled in any coaching, to find more material to practice from. Rishabh, what do you have to say about this?
So I actually never relied on the coaching material because I did not believe in my coaching that much. So I used the GMAT material only, and I feel that the GMAT material is actually good. So if you can go through it, it's good. Like, I agree with Abhinav that you should at least buy a mock test series, and that mock test series does not give you access just for the mocks. It gives you access for the sectional tests and all also, I think, some amount of those tests. So you can actually practice through those sectional tests, and that can actually help you practicing while you're not attempting a mock. You can just practice through that, and apart from that, yeah, you can do the GMAT stuff, do the GMAT LSAT passages. But if you're just starting, then I would suggest that you don't start with that, because if you're, let's say, someone who's not much of an who's not an avid reader, and then you just start with the GMAT LSAT passages, you will get a bit afraid that, okay, because that is a bit tough. That's that's easily tougher than like CLAT. So CLAT based passages. So once you are, let's say, once you're done with your with 2-3 months of your preparation, then you can start with GMAT LSAT. But before that, I think confine yourself to sectional tests, newspaper editorials, and all that would be enough.
Right. So I'll take this opportunity to promote the NLTI test series. So guys, at a very reasonable cost of just rupees 4,000, you will get access to 50 mocks. That would be 35 CLAT mocks, 5 ALET mocks, and 10 OLET mocks, coupled with 50 sectional tests, like 10 sectional tests based on each subject. So that is a very reasonable cost, and none other coaching is providing you a lot of this material, like 50 sectionals plus 50 mocks at this price. Like most of the coachings are charging you 10,000, 12,000 for the same thing. So if you like our initiative, if you can go through the 2-3 sample mocks that we have released. If you like the quality, you can purchase it. And if you're not in a position to pay that much amount also, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to accommodate any request. Now moving on to the next section, let's take GK first. So what should be the strategy for the GK current affairs section, given that like 10 months are still left for CLAT 24? Should we prepare for GK starting now, or we should focus on GK more after June or July, let's say? How should we go about the preparation? Abhinav, you want to go first?
Okay, so I think I'm the wrong person to ask about GK because I was horrendous at it. I think I have mentioned this to you before, only Anish, that
Yeah.
I started my revision on Tuesday and it was on Sunday. So I was just not very great at GK. But something I've noticed is looking at both the 2022 and 23 papers, I think the message the consortium is trying to push is compendiums really won't help you. The sort of questions that are being asked, you really won't find them in any compendium. So I think to prepare for GK, just read the newspaper. That is the most helpful thing I can think of for the current for the GK section. I would especially recommend very heavily emphasize on reading the explained section of Indian Express. I found it to be incredibly helpful. So make it a point to at least do that daily. I used to make physical notes of the explained section. And I used to make digital notes of the Hindu. Like I read the e-versions of both the papers. So for the Hindu, I just used to copy paste whatever I found was important on a Google Docs. But for the Indian Express, I made physical notes of the explained section, and I found it to be very helpful. So just read the newspaper very religiously, make notes if you feel it, and keep revising those notes.
Right, a connected question to this. So by the end of your CLAD preparation, you have like 300 topics covered into like 1500 pages, and it's just too much inflow of information. Even if you have covered a thing previously, let's say in October, you'll not remember before CLAT if you do not revise it. So it's just a lot of information to retain when you are eventually going to sit for exam. So how should we filter out topics that are important, that are not important, and how should we ultimately retain what the required information is, and not end up regretting in CLAT exam that I read this topic but I do not really remember anything that I have read previously. What should be the strategy for this? Abhinav, you only answer this question.
Okay. So something I should have done. A lot of my friends did this, and I think this is a really good idea. Make a GK study calendar. Like you have a normal study calendar and make a separate GK study calendar. And then just add to it ki, January GK revision, February GK revision, March GK revision. Like a week to this month's revision, a week to that month's revision, and keep this going consistently throughout the year. So by the end of the year, by the time CLAT approaches, you'll remember all of it, because ultimately revision is the key to remembering, especially when it's something as vast as GK. Revision is the most important thing in remembering. So just revise as much as you can.
Rishabh, you want to give your GAN?
Well, we screwed up in GK revision. So we started very late for our GK revision. We started like our exam, I don't know. We started when our exam was about like just 20 days away. And we had a lot of stuff to cover. We had like what, 550 page document,
Yes.
250,
No, no,
550 page
550,
document.
550. Yeah.
550 pages, yeah. 550 page document for GK. That was just the normal, like the exclusive of the one liner document. So we had a lot of stuff to cover, and I couldn't finish that. But so Pranchu actually hustled for like 3 days, didn't sleep at all, and then covered the whole GK document. But that was a mistake. We shouldn't have done that. Ideally, yeah, you can just so while you're covering these months, let's say this is February going on, in let's say April, when you're doing April current affairs, you can do one thing, that you can just revise that month's current, like February's current affairs with when you're doing April's current affairs. Like just see one weekend and then you can revise.
Hmm.
And similarly, so that way it won't be like, okay, my exam is in December. This today is like what, some 1st November, and now I have to revise everything from February, and I haven't even read it after I've made them. So it would be better that you consistently read them through, at least read them, not just like go on and like actually revise them. Just read them through once, and then go and do the other month's current affairs. So at least you'll have a basic idea about what that month's current affairs had, like what topics were included and all. So a lot of topics get repeated also in the next month. So that way also it can help you. So revision
Yeah.
would be the key, and try that you revise the previous month's current affairs in the month. So that would help you.
Right. Yeah, now let's talk about the importance of study buddy groups. So, Rishabh, you had three study buddies, Pranchu, Kanish, Harshal, and two of them made to NLS. Abhinav, you also had a study group, Shubham, you, Shreyash, Sh- Arohi, some, and like another person. So, what is the importance of having a study group and having like-minded people studying together, preparing together, helping each other crack CLAT with no vested interest of their own? How important is how important is having a good study buddy group? Abhinav, you want to go first? You are the recent one.
Um, all right. So a study buddy group is definitely very important. This was my first time trying a study group. I really had never tried it in my school life, and It was actually Shubham's initiative, is IR 3. He got the five of us together and asked. And I think it was possibly the single best decision that helped me in CLAT, in the CLAT preparation. It is just the best decision you can take. If just get together a few of those people who you think are really serious about preparation and just form a good study group with them. I mean, we did everything. We gave mocks together. We used to analyze those mocks. If we had doubts, we would ask each other. We made GK notes together at times. And overall, even on the non-academic side, it's just great moral support. Someone I know is also going through these same things. They're also going through those same anxieties which I'm feeling. They are also, even other people have high periods, low periods. It's a great moral support over and above everything, and just it's very very helpful. And I think another very important thing is it makes you competitive, because it's very easy to get complacent once you start doing well in mocks. I mean, if you put in enough effort, you will get good at mocks. So once you start doing well at mocks, you just get very complacent. You just don't feel that desire to work hard anymore. You think to yourself, yeah, what's the point in working hard? I'm already getting such a good rank in mocks. And there is nothing more dangerous than that attitude. So if you're in a study group, there's just a healthy competition between the members itself. So there's always a striving to outperform, and it's this healthy competition which really helps you to push up your scores. So yeah, I think it's a amazing decision to form a study group. And if you are able to get into a good study group, then you're pretty much set.
Rishabh, I don't think you'll be claiming this decision as the best decision of your CLAT journey, or is it so?
I don't know. I think yes. Like it was a good decision. So I think apart from everything else, like apart from the study factor and all, so even in the GK notes, it was me and Harshal who did all the work, and the rest to just tag the log. I mean, like they also helped, but the main factor was that you have a lot. You have like four people who are doing the same thing, going through the same journey that you are, right? And it's like so even when you're giving mocks, you have faced that okay, some mocks you're not, something is not going right for you, but then there is a period that something is going right for you and it's not going right for the other person. So there's something like a emotional and a moral support that you can actually give to the other person. Then there's obviously the competitive factor that okay, like a
Hmm.
healthy competition, not a toxic one that okay, this person is getting a lot than me and all something like that. But the fact that okay, this person is studying with me and he's scoring good as well, even I can do. And the fact that you can do better than what your current state is, that is something. Because when you are, let's say, doing, when you're alone and when you're just seeing on a portal okay, my rank is 27, right? You're not seeing actually okay, what efforts are the people above you putting, how can you improve. Like you get to just meet those people in person, like on a call or something, and you know okay, these are the people, and you get okay, I can also do this. So that's sort of an assurance. And then having like four people who study with you together, and that actually helps. So study buddy group, it's really helpful.
Yeah.
Because even for like CLAD, inherently it's a very subjective paper. It's not like you'll get this is the correct answer and there can't be any other answer apart from this. Not maths, like only one section is that. So even like when you're discussing about mocks and you're analyzing mocks, it can help because it can just open your uh, perspective that okay, I could have thought about this way also. Like this could have, this sentence could have been interpreted this way also. So that is something like.
Right. We'll move on to the next section now, that is the legal section. So, firstly, people have doubts regarding core legal knowledge and current legal knowledge. Abhinav, can you tell me, like reading contract law, criminal law, or family law, did it help you in CLAT 23 in any way, or was it the reading speed and the comprehension abilities only that helped you ace the legal section of CLAT 23? And how important is it to go through the core legal knowledge concepts of like defamation? Crime, contract law, everything? Is it important, or if just doing the basic reading from bar and bench, live law, other articles, other legal articles from my pleaders, Legal Service India, or would that suffice, or you need a good knowledge of the core subjects also?
I think a very very surface level knowledge of the theory would suffice. Like just know the very basic things about contracts. Just the if nothing, at least be familiar with the terms. like know what an offer is, know what acceptance is. Like if you know that, then it might save your time. And obviously be well versed with the current legal knowledge. That definitely helps. So I did try this. Like I saw Rishabh's interview after CLAT 2022, in which he said that he read some legal books and stuff. So even I thought of doing that. So I purchased a book by some ex-lawyer, ex-judge of the Supreme Court, and I have still not gotten past 100 pages. So for me, getting into the deeper legal stuff really didn't help. I think just get an idea of the very surface level of legal concepts, torts, contracts, criminal law, family law, constitution, etc. Very, very basic things. And apart after that, just keep up with the current legal happenings. I really did not even consult bar and bench live law all that much. I just read the newspaper. I think the newspaper covered the current legal affairs very well. So I really did not have to go much past that. And of course, the more mocks you give, the more passages you read, the more things you find out. So keep giving mocks, keep reading the newspaper, and just have a very surface level knowledge of the legal
Yeah.
concepts.
Yeah, so also about ALET exam, like we'll talk about ALET legal also straight away. So CLAT doesn't really go into the core stuff, but ALET usually did, like not this year, but it went into the core subjects also. This time, though, I think there was no legal only there. Like there was a joke, no legal in law paper. Yeah. So, but we are not really sure what pattern ALET 24 would follow. So if you want to if you want to really read the core knowledge and you are not in any coaching, where do you think people can find reliable notes from?
I really don't know because I just stuck to my coaching's material, but I think YouTube might be a good place for you. There's tons of free material available, so just ask around a little, maybe see a few videos for yourself. I really cannot comment on this since I never
Right.
looked beyond my coaching material. I'm sorry.
Rishabh, what do you want to say about the legal section? How should one prepare?
So I think reading bar and bench and all that is not needed at all. And the thing like coachings might say that okay, you need current legal knowledge and all, but that is only because they want to sell their booklets for that. And I'm not pointing at any specific coaching, but that is what the real that is what the truth is. Current legal knowledge, they CLAT does not want to ask you on that. So reading bar and bench and all, if you feel if you like reading it, then it's fine. Otherwise, it's there's no point of reading it solely for current legal knowledge, right? And then I think apart from that, for the core legal knowledge, yeah, I think a bit like as Abhinav said, like you need a bit of a knowledge about like some the basics about what an offer is, what an acceptance is, what a counter offer is. That's all. You don't need to read specific cases about it, but if you want to actually search about it, just do a Google search. I would say don't even search on YouTube, because even that would be detailed, because those videos are generally made for people pursuing preparing for 3 year LLB exam, like the DU LLB paper. So
Yeah.
even those would be a bit that thing detailed. So either if you're able to find YouTube videos, find shorter videos so that they're less detail oriented and like cover basic things, or just do a Google search and find out and read up on it. And you don't need to read cases, don't read cases at all. There's no need to just go on Indian Kanun or I don't know whatever.
Yeah.
So it's better that you just have a basic knowledge about everything, like what is negligence and what is vicarious liability. That's all, so that you it's easier for you to read and skim through the passage. That's all. Apart from that, it's just your comprehension and your application skills.
Right. We'll come to the CR section now. People are most afraid of the CR section. I think it's personally, I think it's just the mindset and the psychology that people are afraid of the CR section. It's basically English only if you perceive that way. But just because it is critical reasoning and you people think that they need to think critically, that is bringing their downfall. But yeah, yeah, if that's a thing. So, uh, how should one prepare for CR? Which sources should one refer to? Even though people tell me that they have been exclusively studying for CR now, like for a month or 2 months, but still their score is stagnant between like 15 to 20, and it's not really improving. So Abhinav, how what do you suggest? How should they tinker their study schedule for CR and also their psychology? How to prepare for CR section effectively and not be scared of that?
Yeah, so even I faced a great fear of SIA. I used to be very, very scared of SIA. Like I used to get 10 marks, 15 marks in it. So I think what will really help someone with their fear of CR is just give the CLAT 21, 22, and 23 papers, and you will see that CR is so easy that there really is nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
And yeah, one another thing you said is I don't think there is anything really different in CR from English. It's just called CR because there are some concepts involved, like
Yeah.
assumption, inferences,
Assumptions,
and all that.
conclusions, inference, all that, all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apart from that, is it really any different from English? So for SIA, I think first just strengthen your concepts, like understand what an assumption is, understand what an inference is, understand conclusion, fact, judgment, all those things. The what is the how to understand the main point of the author, and from there on, just practice a lot until you get a hang of the concepts. Um, LCR requires a lot of practice. That is one thing. So just practice, practice, practice until you get the hang of it, and just give. If you ever feel afraid of CR, just give the past year papers because you realize that this is an easy section. There's really nothing much to be afraid of. Um, and another thing, my approach while solving CR questions was while reading the passage, just try to understand the main point of the author. Even if it is not asked in a question, just understand what the main point of the author is and you're set. Like once you get what is the point the author is trying to push through, once you're able to get that down to a single line, then you're set. Then you will be able to answer any question that is asked. And also, this helped me personally read the questions before reading the passage. I found that to be very helpful in CR as well. That's it.
So did you do this only in CR or every section reading the questions beforehand?
I used to do this in English and CR because really
Or
there's no difference between them. In legal, I used to read the entire passage before doing the questions.
yeah, because like reading the facts first and then again after the question would be very tedious. Yeah. Rishabh, how to prepare for CR? Your tipney.
uh, I think that as he said that just know what an assumption is, what an inference is, but then again, I think you should refer to GMAT material for this, because like some things, like again, like they have really what coaching institutes do, they really commercialize on that thing. They really bank on what this, I think this fear of CI mostly that has been created by them only, that okay, you don't know what this means and all, and then they go on to teach you theory using like very
Hmm.
detailed things that do not mean anything at all. So it's better that you just read through those things, or just, I don't know, Google search it or check it out on YouTube. Or if you are in a coaching, just see the material and read and understand what those things mean. Okay, how would you go on to identify the main idea, or like the main argument, the conclusion, what can follow, or questions like that. And inference, assumption, obviously, strengthen, weaken. And then you can practice those sort of questions. And apart from that, when you know what these things mean, then it just becomes a comprehension thing, right? And strengthen, weaken is just you have to argue what it is. Strengthen, just see okay, which of these can actually help the author's case. Like, I think the main thing in CR is just to know what the author's argument is. It again comes down to the comprehension thing only, that once you know okay, this is the argument, how is has he reached that argument, what was the premise for him, okay, and what did he use to actually then just add two and two together and get the main conclusion, main argument and all. So that thing, so if you are just able to figure that out and just see uh that thing, so I think the main thing is you can just go and see the author's argument as he said XYZ because of ABC. So
Hmm.
that way, if you're able to break it down that way, that's good. And then if you know the author's argument, then you can solve questions. That's the main thing. And just have a basic understanding about what the terms mean, what is an assumption, what is an inference and all. And then if you know what the author says, then you're sorted. That's all.
Right.
I really agree about that coaching's point. That coachings create a fear of CR in you. For example, a certain coaching's mocks which I used to give, what happened was like exactly around the time when they released the CR course, the level of CR questions in the mocks just became extremely difficult. Like I used to get 20, 25, and just around the time when that additional CR purchasable course was released, exactly around that time it becomes so difficult that you start getting 10 or 12 and you begin panicking. Oh my god, 2 months before the exam and my scores are dropping like this. So just don't be
Yeah.
worried of CR. It's really not difficult. Don't be scared of it. And yeah, just go for the main point. That's all.
Yeah. Now I'll come to the next question revolving around timetable and schedule. Is it really important to have a daily schedule and a timetable? Like 7 to 8, I will wake up and freshen up. 8 to 9, I will read newspaper. 9 to 10, I will breakfast. I will have breakfast. Then 10 to 11, I will read this thing. Abhinav, did you have something similar to this sort? Like not very typical and specific, but something that you have made daily targets that I'll do 20 passages for this, 5 questions for this, something related to that?
So as per a timetable, like time-wise timetable, I used to plan my day out very well. Pre-Diwali, like I used to go to school quite regularly pre-Diwali. So I had to plan out my day to balance school and CLAT prep as well. After Diwali, I went to school very, very sparsely. So after that, I did not plan out to that degree. I just made a list of things. Ki, okay, this is so, for example, I would make a list today of what I wish to do tomorrow. On 17th February, I would make a list before sleeping that, okay, this is all that I do on 18th February. And I just used to do that on 18. I did not think very much in advance. I just used to think a day ahead ki, okay, I have two mocks to analyze. Um, I am I am not making many mistakes in percentages or ratios, so I need to look up the formulas, go through my notes again, and all that stuff.
Right. Rishabh, did you make a timetable? Thinking of a person like you, I don't think so.
So, so I just did what I felt like doing. And anyways, like I sometimes I did this thing like in the morning, like not a day earlier, but in the morning, let's say on 18th February in the morning, I thought, okay, what I want to do in the day. And I tried to follow it, but I used to change what I wanted to do as well midway also. So it wasn't like I almost never followed this schedule. I operated very much on impulse. Some days I would do a lot, some days I would do very less. But yeah, I didn't follow this schedule thing. So
Right. A message to the aspirants here. You can like hear diverging opinion and sometimes opposite, like diametrically opposite opinions from Rishabh and Abhinav. So try everything, see what suits you and what is best for you. Like you do not really need to have a timetable, and it's better if you have a timetable. Just try, like try various permutations and combinations and ultimately see what works the best for you. It's like CLAT 24 is still 10 months away, so try everything, but stick to one thing. Like ultimately, when CLAT is nearing, but yeah, try everything. See what works best for you. The same thing goes for the sequence also. Try tinkering with your sequence now, as opposed to tinkering with it in October or November when CLAT is approaching. Yeah. So the next question would be around QT. Like QT's, how is CLAT 23 QT? I don't really remember, but whatever it was, how do you suggest preparing for quantitative techniques? Like similarly, do you necessarily need to have a good knowledge of all the shortcuts and tricks and tips for percentages ratio, or you can, if you have a basic knowledge of what ratio percentages are, you will be able to solve it during the CLAT exam. What are your views, Avinav?
So I used to be really afraid of maths. I think I still am to some degree. So I think the trick to QT for CLAT is to realize that this is not the maths which you are terrified of. This is just very basic arithmetic, just percentage, ratio, proportion, very simple addition, multiplication, these sorts of things. So I think one of the biggest things you need to do is just get rid of your fear, approach it with an open mind. After that, just familiarize yourself with the concepts, like understand what are mixtures and allegations, then ratio, percentages, all those various things. And then just practice so you'll get quick at it. You can do some tricks for quick calculation. For example, I memorized the values of 1 divided by 1 all the way until 1 divided by 30. So that helps you in quicker calculations. And apart from that, it's really not. there's really not much to it. You just have to be consistent, be thorough with your concepts, and practice regularly so that you're very quick at it. Because maths can be a very, very, you know, a section that can give you a lot of marks and can give you the edge over others, because plenty of people are afraid of maths and they don't even attempt the section. So just by attempting it, you are automatically getting an edge over others. So it is a section that can push you through, push you over the line. So just don't be afraid of maths, be consistent. That's all I have to say.
Rishabh, do you think Abhinav will be the next Karthik Kalra of his batch? Like the smart ass person, having around 30 publications in his second year, have read all the books.
Yeah, he gives the
Abhinav, you
vibes,
know
but I
who
don't.
Karthik Kalra is? No?
No, I
Okay.
You
don't.
probably you will just know him. Probably won't even talk to the guy.
Chat. Rishabh, these are the things not supposed to be told on a public platform. Okay.
आप ही ने स्टार्ट करा, मैंने क्या बोला?
मैंने तो गुड वे में बोला था, लाइक ही इज अ
मैंने भी
वेरी,
अच्छे उसमें बोला।
हाँ हाँ श्योर.
जो भी है,
अच्छा,
तो
what
ठीक है।
like what is your take
Nobody
on the
knows
QT?
nobody knows what happens in law school. What 1% does in law school, so I
Yeah.
don't know. But हाँ, हो सकता है। अच्छी बात है।
Hmm. Yeah, good thing only. Search him up, Abhinav. Like, if you get time, search Karthik Alrap on LinkedIn. You'll see like 30 publications, a lot, very good quality. No, it's he's my roommate, okay, in law school, and he's the smartest person in my batch. Like, he's also the batch topper. So yeah, very smart person, knows everything, has like 30 publications. Like the rest of the batch would have 25 publications, but he alone has 30, around 30 publications just in his second year, and that too in like world-renowned blogs and all. Yeah, Rishabh, your take on QT section. Last, this would be the last question before we close this session.
I I don't know how, like I don't know what happened in CLAT 2023. Like our in our exam, it was very chill. Like
Yeah.
like I mean, for me, QT was a very strong point. I almost always used to get like 13 plus in maths in the QT section. So I never really practiced. Also, mocks were enough for me. So like the I think the key thing is that you need to be good at calculation. So as he said that, okay, I memorized that 1/30 thing, and also the thing is you can memorize it if you want to, but I think the better way is that, okay, you actually like you know how to do speed calculation. Like you can memorize also. It's not like you have to do both things exclusively, but like know how to do basic calculation fast. So like if it's something like 15 into 28, so like how can you actually approach it? There will be people who will do 15 into 8 and stuff, or you can do 15 into 30 and then minus 30 from that, so that's 420. So something like that. So or you can just break the number. So there are multiple ways which you can do. So you can just search on YouTube. There are multiple ways to actually improve your calculation speed. Once you improve the calculation speed, like knowing the formulas and all, it's very easy. All of us have done like have done maths at least till 10th, right? So we have learned a lot more like complicated formulas than what CLAT expects us to do. Like basic thing, percentages, okay, time and work, how it's supposed to do and all. And you can do it without knowing the formulas also. If you have a basic understanding of how it's working, how you are actually solving the thing, you can do it without the formula also. So that's the thing. But I think for these concepts, if you just search on YouTube, there'll be a lot of tips and tricks that you can find which can actually help you. So that way, that and then you just practice it. That is the like those are the two things which you can do for
You're right.
QT.
Abhinav, yeah, one last piece of advice for all the aspirants who are watching you live. Any last message for them who will be appearing for CLAT 24?
Okay, so be consistent with your preparation. Um, don't lose your competitiveness. Always like don't get complacent with your scores. Always strive to do better. Read the newspaper daily. Most important. If you're not in a study group, do it already. And just yeah, keep giving mocks and obviously analyze mocks. Like it used to happen to me at times. I used to get so tired of giving mocks. Like, what's the point of analyzing and leave it? And then 5, 10 mocks would stack up, and then I realized, oh God, I need to analyze these. So yeah, just analyze, give mocks, analyze mocks, be consistent. Try different frequencies of mocks, find a number which suits you, and then stick with that. If you're comfortable with increasing, then increase it, or just keep going with that frequency. And yeah, I think the key to achieving anything in life is just being consistent, being hardworking, and being honest to yourself. So just yeah, work hard and you'll make it.
One last question. I'm sorry I didn't take this up earlier. It missed my eye. So someone is asking what was your initial mock score or like just your first mock score, and the person is saying that they are scoring around 36. Is it even satisfactory and should they feel demotivated by the score like in the first mock of 36? Yeah. Abhinav, you want to answer?
All right. So the first mock I gave was really easy. So I scored 66 in that. But then I gave a tough mock and I scored a 39. So yeah, if this is your score in your first mock, then don't be worried. It's decent score. The only way you can go is upwards from here, right? You can think of it positively that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't worry if it's just your first mock. Analyze where you went wrong and just keep giving more mocks, keep analyzing, and you'll get better at it.
Rishabh, what was your first mock score, if you remember?
So I gave a legal edge mock, and I got 65 in that. And
Born smart. Yeah.
so my mock was good. But
Yeah.
I used to,
All-
so there were like two, three times I scored in 50s also. So it's not like
Mhm.
that happened. But even if you're scoring 36, it's fine. Like as he said, the only way you can you grow upwards only. It won't be like you'll after 36 you'll score like 21 or something like that, right? You from 36 after two three marks you'll score 63. Don't worry. So
Also, legal edge legal is troubling a lot of aspirants out here. Should they really be worried about their low score in legal edge legal?
yes.
What? What? Yes.
I
Should
mean,
they be
it's
worried?
very clear. Like the way you pose that question, the obvious answer is no. It's not legal. It's the way they pose the legal question. It's very irrelevant and like it's very tough. Even I think even Karthik Kalra won't get more than 25 in that. So you'll have to be you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
Abhinav, do you
the thing
also
is,
share?
it's very they try to make it a lot like they try to make it tough so that again they try to make it tough and then they'll ask you okay you had to read up on current legal knowledge like we had told you to. That's not how it works. You can't just say okay this will come in class then you just change the way you'll teach, right? So just
Um,
I don't think they'll ask much on core like on current legal knowledge, and even if they do, it'll be easy. It won't be that tough as like it won't be similar to the difficulty in legal at mocks. So you really don't need to worry about your legal score there.
Ab-
so Rishabh has an insider's perspective on this since he was a classroom program student. I just gave legal edges mocks and at times I'd score like 5 or 6 in legal and I'd just laugh. So I think really do not be worried. It is just incredibly tough. So just do not be worried at all. Actual CLAT is much easier than this. And I think something that helped me while giving those mocks when I used to see the league and I was like, oh God, I can't comprehend a word of this passage. What are they trying to say? Just tell yourself, yeah, if this is incredibly difficult for me, then this is incredibly difficult for everybody, right?
yeah.
So what's difficult for you is difficult for everybody, and you really do not have to worry about it. If even if you're scoring somewhere 20, I think that is more than enough, much more than enough. So do not be worried by legal edges legal section. It's tough. If it's tough for you, it's tough for everybody. So everyone's equally disadvantaged there.
Right. Thanks a lot, guys, for this session. I think we'll close it here now. Thank you, Abhinav and Rishabh, for taking out time and giving your insights on CLAD 24. Thanks a lot for joining in. We hope to host Abhinav also in the future also. See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
Rishabh.
you.
Take care. Good night. Right, guys. So that was it from this session. If you have any doubts regarding NLTI or our initiative, you can like giving you 2 minutes. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Uh, as they talked about the importance of study buddy groups at NLTI, we do the same thing. We allot you study groups based on your mock scores, and the plan is also very economical for everyone. And if you have any special requests to make regarding pricing, we also accommodate that to a great extent. So please reach out to us if you are interested in enrolling in our program. We recently launched our new website also, and now you can give live mocks. That was a feature missing in the previous website. So now you can directly pay from the website also, and you can also give live mocks there. Our test series also is also very highly acclaimed. Last year, the passage that we asked in one of our mocks was repeated like 3 days after in the CLAT consortium sample paper that they released. So the test series is of very high quality, and it's like I am saying this, that it's better than most other coaching institutes, uh, if not better, at par than every other coaching institute. So it's very beneficial for everyone, the test series. And we give like 50 mocks, 35 CLAT, 5 ALET, 10 OLET, and plus 50 sectionals. So it's a very comprehensive test series, and it's available at uh, just rupees 5,000. And if you have any like special request to make, we also give special discounts for that. So like the same test series would cost around 13-14,000 in any other coaching institutes pricing, but the same is being provided at around 5,000 rupees. So that's a very big boon for everyone. Like, it's the pricing is very economical, reasonable for everyone, and we have tried to accommodate as many requests as possible. So if you have any doubts, please feel free to reach out to us via the website. You can call us anytime. You can email us anytime. We are law students, and we are up most of the time. So, right. How can I prepare as a partial dropper? I'm in DU right now. Pranav, it's more about managing time. You go to the college in the morning, I assume. Then in the evening, you can prepare for CLAT. And on weekends, you can give mocks, because mocks are very essential for CLAT preparation. So you can divide your time when to give a mock, when to give a sectional test, and when to prepare like theory. So yes, Pranav, I'm answering you only. Please don't spam the comment section. Uh, yeah. So develop your reading speed first. If you are in DU, I'm assuming you went through CUET, and you do not really have a good command over the reading comprehension what CLAT requires. So first, develop your reading speed, develop your reading comprehension. Right. I'm a double dropper. Please help. Marks are between 50 to 60. Firstly, if you can reconsider your choice of being a double dropper, please do that. At least take admission from through any OLET examination this year, Keshav. Like every OLET exam except LSAT. LSAT also, like, first attempt has taken place recently in January, but the second attempt is in May or June, I guess. So firstly, take admission in any institute, be it any law university around your place, or like Symbiosis, Army Institute, Mohali, Punjab University, any institute, any good law institute for that matter, Christ. You can take admission first and then prepare for CLAD, because it's more of a mind game. When you are a double dropper, you constantly have that fear, oh, I need to crack CLAD. What if I don't crack CLAD? Uh, I will have I will have no backup option. 3 years of my life will be wasted if I take another drop. What happens if I know what happens to my family? So, firstly, please take admission through an OLET examination this year, Keshav. If you're from Punjab Fazilka, it's great. Then take admission in Punjab University, or you take admission in Army Institute of Law. Uh, Punjab University is also great. UILS Chandigarh. Uh, but Army Institute Law Mohali is also great. So both our PU exam recently released its notification. The exam is on 30th April. So do appear for that, take admission, and then give CLAT again in 20 like the in December 23. So that might save you an year of your life. And Sir, will Abhinav Somani will join? Yeah, Abhinav will join NLTI soon, just after his boards. He has his boards from February to March or April, I think. And after his board examinations, he will join uh, NLTI. Yeah. So don't take another drop. Will 35 mock be enough? 35 mocks should be enough. But if you think it will not be enough, you can buy another mock test series of any, like an academy or Byju's. I think they are cheaper, but the quantity of mocks are higher than other coaching. So if you think 35 mocks are not sufficient, you can, yeah, definitely give more mocks. Right. That's it, guys, from this session. I hope this was fruitful and you had good insights from this. I hope you're taking away something substantial from this session, and that will help you prepare for CLAT 24. Do consider joining us. Do consider joining this initiative just by NLS students. If you find it useful and fruitful, we'll be happy to help you during the course of your CLAT preparation journey. Thank you, guys. That's it from the session. Hope you enjoyed it.